Well, we are sitting down here in the AAMI studios during Sterilization Standards Week, and I have the opportunity to talk with Damien Berg and Atila Nozari. Damien, Atila, let me give you a few seconds to introduce yourselves.
Well, thank you, Amanda. It's always great to be in the studio and talk to you as well as the viewers of this later on. My name is Damien Berg. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for HSPA. I'm also the co-chair, along with my friend here, Atila, on TIR 12, which is the instructions for reprocessing of medical devices, reusable medical devices. And I'm just happy to be here. And Atila and I have worked together for a couple of years now on different avenues and different things, but this is our first time working together on this document, so it's exciting to see it move forward, and it's been great progress this week.
Great.
Thank you, Amanda. It's a pleasure to be here. So as Damien mentioned, I'm the co-chair of the working group, the other co-chair of working group 12. I'm the senior medical liaison and also a global standard manager for Solventum.
Great. Well, thank you both for being here. So TIR 12 is coming out of AAMI Sterilization Working Group 12, which is instructions for reusable device reprocessing. TIR 12 is a big document, very important. I know it was the last edition was 2020. It was reaffirmed in 2023, and then there was a decision made to open it back up for revision. Tell me a little bit about what's driving that and what's going to be so important about this document.
That's true. So luckily, I happened to be around during that last revision all the way through completion. And what's really exciting about it, and I want to preface, this is a manufacturer's document. And what that means is not giving guidance to the end users on how to utilize IFUs, instructions for use, or those complex details on how they're created. What it is, it's giving manufacturers guidance of these are the things to consider when developing IFUs that are important, not only for the device manufacturer, the regulatory side, the testing labs, but also the end user. So it's exciting to see where it's come from to where it is now, but with the ever-changing complexity of medical devices and also the ever-changing complexity and regulatory compliances of reprocessing or processing departments, we want to make sure that practice and standards and IFUs all merge, so there's not a confusion, there's not a displacement of opinion and what we need to do. It's based off of evidence-based practice, science, and regulatory practices. So that's why it got reaffirmed, because it is needed, and it's reopened because there is more information we need to put in there, as well as more changes to all the things I just said.
Absolutely. IFUs are always a challenging issue. I know we hear a lot out there in the industry. And of course, the folks in the hospitals have a lot to say about IFUs as well. Tell me a little bit about some of the inputs you're getting. What is informing this new edition?
So I'll kick it off a little bit and I'll see what Atila's got to say. But I think, and especially in I would really say the last year, but I mean, it's not just inclusive to the last year, but really the last year we've heard a lot from the industry people. And when I say industry people, the device manufacturers, of what do you want to see? What do we need to do, end users? So the people actually using the medical device and reprocessing them. And we've heard a lot from the reprocessing people saying, we need to tell you guys how to do it. And then we also heard a lot from the associations such as APIC, such as HSPA, and other associations of, we're the associations that represent the members that do this work, whether it's in a sterile processing department or it's on a floor in a hospital or an emergency department. They're following IFUs for cleaning items and disinfecting items, as well as sterilizing items in certain areas. So the need and the, I want to say, demand has really become more elevated this last year because there's been more attention put on IFUs and the following and compliance with them. I would say now more ever than I've seen in my career. So we've seen a lot, we've heard a lot, and so that's that call for action to make sure that this AAMI document is really current and updated with the viewpoints and perspectives, as well as the legal aspects from all sides. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yes, of course. So all of us agree on one point, that IFUs are very critical for the ensuring the safe and effective reprocessing of medical devices. And from that perspective, let's say misinterpretation of the IFUs may cause and the increased risk of the improper device reprocessing, which is increasing the risk for patients. So the patient safety is important, and all of us agree on that. And also, as Damien mentioned, we are hearing lots of feedback from end user or how they would like to see the future IFUs or the simple style of that. But also, we have this representation from manufacturers' side, because there are challenges that we see from manufacturers, that the like complexity of the design, like materials. With advancement of technology, we are getting all new devices that, you know, they are the old aim and goal is to make them user friendly, but making them user friendly doesn't necessarily mean that they are easy to reprocess, because now we are having more components, sensitive materials in them, electronic equipment and pieces in them, and sometimes a different type of materials all combined in one medical device, which necessitates a complexity of its reprocessing. That we see that, but if we hear the point from the end user sides that Damien clearly mentioned, that they like kind of the simpler. So the whole idea of having, I call it 3C. We want to have concise, we want to have clear, we want to have a compliant and validated instruction for use. So the whole idea of this working group is that hearing all this feedback and sitting together with the end user, with manufacturer, with regulatory, and all people that are interested through AAMI to sit and have a better document, improve the documents that we already have for the future versions of.
And that collaborative approach will really lead to more practical guidance that will benefit all of the stakeholders involved. And it's a very forward-looking document too. So devices that are coming on the market, they'll have the benefit, manufacturers will have the benefit of having this guidance available as they're developing their instructions for use. It's very good.
Yes, and one exciting thing actually that happened in the last year, well, since it was last revised, and now it is now recognized by FDA. So FDA recognizes this document, and which also helps the manufacturer side now look at it, follow it, and be in compliance with it as part of their submissions with the FDA. So it really helps if they're recognizing it now. It's like, okay, now we want to make sure that it is accurate. And I love the 3Cs that you mentioned, Atila, because I think that does sum it up very nicely.
So I want to switch tracks a little bit and talk about the work that's going on in ISO TC 198 Working Group 12. AAMI Sterilization Working Group 12 serves as the U.S. mirror group to that effort. Although, Damien, you're serving as a U.S. expert in that effort, and Atila, you're serving as a Canadian expert in that effort. Tell me a bit about the work that's going on at the international level related to information for reprocessing of medical devices.
Yes, TC 198, Working Group 12, which is instruction for use. It's important, and it is a global effort. So what we do is that we have a series of documents, is 17664 series, that 1 and 2 are already published, but now is actually their activities are going on in the early stages from the Part 3 document, which is also, it's focusing on the cleaning part of that. So yes, it is global effort going on, and we are representation from different countries who are active within this working group.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and Attila, thank you. That was a great background. And I think what's really important is when we participate as experts in our own individual countries and countries around the world, we're going there to share our countries through our various working groups, share our countries' insights, perspectives, to try to see what global harmonization can really come through the ISO international world in respects to all the cleaning in the Part 3, but also what other countries are doing that maybe could inform us on a different countryside. Like, that's great work that's being done in whatever country. And that's really part of the secret sauce, I think, that ISO's figured out and AAMI participates in and actually helps facilitate the whole process, is that it's not focused on one country or one law or one way of doing things, and everybody has to do it that way. It's, let's bring us all together collaboratively and try to figure out the best way on the international side of doing things. So that's the exciting part about being one of the U.S. experts to it, and then working alongside my Canadian counterpart as well too.
Yeah. Very important point. So it does help with global harmonization, and that's particularly important for manufacturers that are multinational, selling in many different markets around the world. Well, Damien and Atila, thank you very much for your thoughts today, your insights, much appreciated. And we look forward to more updates about TIR 12 and the work going on internationally for IFUs.